Hi, my name is Benjamin. I'm 9 years sober. I continue every day to look to help others, to give back to those who have helped me, and to the community that's given me everything back into my life.
I'm Heather Champion. I'm a licensed mental health counselor with a private practice. I met Ben while working at an outpatient treatment center called The Retreat that's not here anymore. We've maintained our friendship since then and enjoy taking time to talk about therapy and our lives as champions.
Disclaimer: the content of this video is intended for informational use only. It is in no way intended as a replacement for medical or psychological advice. Should you have a medical or psychological issue, please consult with a medical professional. Okay, everybody. Well, it is the Real Champions podcast. This is episode 6 of season 2. We left off last time with me trying to get Ben to watch The Pitt on HBO, and he won't talk to me about it. He was just pulling up some information about it so he could name all the characters appropriately. So I'm kind of interested to see, Ben, what you got?
Hello. So I gave it a honest chance this weekend, and early last week I started it. First thing I noticed is since you told me about the music, I kind of preset my mind to acknowledge there was going to be no music. So for all those who may listen who are multitaskers like myself and cannot watch a TV show like a normal person with only one thing going on at once, I really struggled finding a secondary game to play while watching it because without that music it really took away my ability to multi-focus, which was interesting to me. There's not many shows I can't multi-focus on, but what I found the more I watched it is, one, I love the idea of it, but two, being somebody who works in healthcare, it kind of tired me because it was everything we deal with in a sense. It's you want to jump on the screen type thing and fix it type thing. But what I did find is the character, I think it's Dennis Whittaker, the young kid.
Whitaker.
Yeah, Whitaker. I've been drawn to because I think one thing that are pros and cons of the show for myself I found is maybe my um, empath stuff is affecting my ability to watch it as consistently as I want to. Because I feel what those characters are feeling. I felt what that man felt when he was doing the chest compressions on his first patient who died on him.
Yeah.
And it, for myself, I think as my parents are getting older, my dad's recently been having more open conversations about him getting old in a way that he's doing it that I can handle it. Um, but yesterday I was watching it around, I don't know, right before basketball game started. And they were going the part of the episode when they were taking off the man off of the oxygen tank, and the brother and sister were distraught over what to do. I had to turn it off because it was making me think too much of my dad and what may be coming for me. So it's a very, the show is effective, very effective. I found for myself it may be a show that I may have to wait for Alicia to come back when, if she decides to come back, type thing, because I felt myself needing to say out loud something. Because it brought those emotions to me, because I'm an empath, and I think that's why I struggle without the music, because I had to feel what I had to feel. I wasn't being told what to feel. As you know, I know being 10 years sober, I should be better at that, but it was very hard for me to multitask on the show, which was good because it made me focus, but it also made me focus. And it made me realize like a lot of that stuff personally, I don't want to have to think through after the 8 hours is done. So for me, watching this show was almost work because I had to continue to feel when my time home is not to feel. But at the same time, it made me feel things that I need to feel because I need to mature on those things and work through.
Right.
I
So
just I thought it was really well done all
it's
around.
such a good show. And it kind of sounds like what it actually is doing is bringing up those holes where not necessarily bringing up work per se, but bringing up the areas where I need to work, right? And that's what I'm hearing a lot of is like, I realized that I really needed to work on some of these areas where I struggle in seeing somebody being taken off of life support because I identify too much with the people that are sitting there watching this happen. You know, I identify really with the characters that are the doctors, and I feel to a certain degree that I really identify with Dr. Robbie, wanting to teach, wanting to make sure everybody knows what they're doing, to be the knowledgeable one, to be the one, that tells everybody how to handle it and tries to hold everybody together. Like I really identify with it. At the end of the second season, you haven't gotten there yet. But he kind of talks about how the plan didn't go according, to how he started out. He's like, at one point says, I was supposed to have a house and a kid, and a house on a lake, with my kids and be spending my 4th of July with them, not in this hospital. And so somewhere I took a wrong turn. And I identify a lot with that. Like, I identify a lot with, like, this wasn't the way I had set out. I didn't set out to do my life this way, but this is the way it ended up.
But you saying that because you remind me of that character very much. But like you just said, you like to teach. 10 or 8 years later, we're on this screen because you taught.
Mhm.
So you did what that character does.
Yeah.
You have, hello, I'm your nursing student. You have us out there that you
Yes.
taught, that you did lead.
Mhm.
Yeah, I thought of you right when I saw that guy too, and everything he had to manage, but he cared about teaching. He cared about those teachable moments.
Yeah.
And reminds me of you and literally why we're on this podcast and been friends for the last 8 years because you taught me.
Yeah.
You gave me the ability to learn from somebody who's been there. But yeah, that show, and I just think when the main doctor or the main, I guess, head lady came and started talking to Dr. Robbie about like the rats in the thing and bringing his numbers up and patient satisfaction.
Yeah.
That's what I deal with. I mean, you worked with me, I don't. The patient satisfaction's in front of my face. I don't need a survey to tell me anything. And
Right.
like I totally related to that. It's like, yeah, you don't know what it's like to be in this. Come on our level and work with us. But I also understand the business side of things as well as you of, yeah, but you need to keep those numbers up so we can keep going.
Right.
And so I think not having music there, I think has really affected me to the sense of, oh, it really is like I'm at work because I'm starting to process these feelings. What would I do? How would I handle it? First thing I know is I'm never working in an ER. I had to look away multiple times from the screen. I'm like, this is not
Oh,
an eating show.
no, 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 no. You definitely don't want to. And it's like, it's right there in your face. So it's like, I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, yeah, no, I can't. It's like, like take something, put it in front of my face. I'm like, are they done yet? Are they done yet? Are they done yet? Like, is that part over? Like, if they stop showing it. But, um, from what I've heard, it's very realistic for what an ER is like, and I think that it brings up the second season really focuses a lot on mental health. Like they really focus on Robbie's mental health is enormously, but they also focus a lot on Nurse Dana, and what she's going through. So at the end of season one, Nurse Dana gets attacked.
And look for her face. There's
She's
Dina.
she's the blonde.
Oh, okay. Yes, I know who that one is.
Yeah.
Okay.
At the end of
Oh, I
season
found.
one. Yeah, she gets attacked. And the season two is her first day back, or one of her first days back after being
Interesting.
attacked. And then there's also, I forget the character's name, the one that they catch stealing meds. Did you catch that part? They caught him stealing
Not
meds.
yet, I don't think. I think I'm at episode 4, about to go to 5.
Okay. Well, they're about to reveal the doctor who's stealing meds and has a substance use problem. And so season two, he's back too. Like he's been gone in treatment and everything else. So I think you'll like season two much better than season one, because they focus on substance use disorder, they focus on mental health issues, and they focus on a lot of like how like one of the storylines, there's a kid who kind of loses it in the library, and the family's kind of trying to figure out what to do about that and what to do with him. And the one sister's getting all upset because she's like, "What's wrong with my brother?" And then there's like one of the student doctors kind of blurts out something that really doesn't isn't appropriate, and she's got to like backtrack and try to explain how to tell this um to the family members. And then Robbie is going through his own stuff, right? And at the end of his shift, he's leaving. And that's what they keep talking about because there's this woman who's going to be taking over the ER for him while he's gone. She's going to be the attending during his shift while he's gone. And he's like, he kind of talks about like all that weight sits on his shoulders as the one who makes sure. And they're like, we'll be okay without you. Like, we'll be fine without you. And I think that the, they're looking at Dana's recovery from being attacked. They're looking at Robbie's, just kind of like he's literally falling apart. In season one, they kind of touch on it a little bit because they show flashbacks into COVID when the old attending
Yeah.
died and everything, right? So like they get into that a little bit in there. But in season two, they really dig into all of that stuff. And then they deal with a few mental health patients. They deal with some grief stuff, some major grief stuff in there. It's very heavily focused on that. And so it's kind of like, looking at how Nurse Dana tries to pull herself together, but she does something that is like highly illegal in season two, as a way of coping with her stress and her PTSD. Robbie's fallen apart and he's having trouble remaining focused at work. And then like the other characters that are kind of struggling their way through, it lends itself to that conversation about how do we maintain our mental health, right? You're saying that while watching this, you started to get the feels about what you were watching. And it was like, wait a second, I can't really watch this because I need to cope with what I'm watching and the stuff
Truth.
that's coming up for me, right?
Yep.
And it's like I watch Robbie and the way that he kind of falls apart, and how much he struggles. So I do identify with him a lot, and identify with the idea that the story didn't go quite the way that we expected it to, that I expected my story to go. How do we deal with that? Who do we go to? Who do the healers go to for healing?
I think we have to set ourselves up with a strong support network. One of my favorite things they did, I don't know if many people noticed, I love that he's in a sweatshirt because to me that means they really let me go see what a real ER looks like. Not a pristine, I always have my jacket on. Like that's
Mhm.
how we work. I always have a sweatshirt on. You know I'm here to work. I'm gonna work my butt off. I'm gonna work past everybody. And I
Yeah.
just thought that was a cool little touch of no, he's here to work. He doesn't care. He's a doctor and has a master's degree, whatever he has. He's a doctor and he's here to
A
kick ass.
doctorate. It's more than a master's. He's a doctorate.
Yeah,
An
yeah.
MD. Yeah.
An MD. But it just to me that was a little thing they added into the show that if you're a worker like us, you understand that. Like I don't have time to take off my jacket. I'm not here to look pretty for you. I'm here to work and get my job done. I just thought that was like one of those little hidden things that if you're a worker like us, you get it.
Well, the thing is that hospitals are cold.
Yeah, but nobody else has a sweatshirt on. Not
Uh,
one other person.
some of the student doctors wear sweatshirts as well as a couple of the interns and residents.
Okay.
They
I don't know. It
do.
just stuck out to me as just I just
A
kind of know what it
few
feels like.
a few of them do here and there. And it's
Mhm.
like I think it's more along the lines of those people are cold.
I don't know. I just thought it's because I myself I always have a sweatshirt on. Majority of it is like, yeah, I'm cold, but I'm just working too fast to take it off. I don't have time to take it off.
It's funny that you say that because Scrubs came back. I don't know if you did you ever watch Scrubs back in the day?
Heck yeah.
Scrubs came back. They're on Hulu this year. I was over the moon, so excited to see them again because that was one of my favorite shows of all time.
Yep.
And they all came back, and that was actually in the reboot of Scrubs. Dorian, JD, is now the attending, and he runs the residency program. Like
Yep.
he's now Dr. Cox. And he's talking to Dr. Cox in one of the episodes, and he's talking about how he won't wear his white doctor jacket, and he dresses like one of the interns so that he helps them feel like he's on the same level, which is kind of like what you were pointing out. So I was like, wait a second, which show was that I watched about doctors? Was it Robbie, or was it JD that was saying that same thing? That they did it on purpose to feel like, they were on the same level. Which, no, JD said he did it to be on the same level as the residents. But
That's a
uh,
great show for morals.
oh
Great
God,
show.
I love that show. That one's so good. It's so good.
Teary-eyed at the end of every episode. Just always a great lesson, a great moment to laugh at something silly. But
Yeah,
I started rewatching after the new one came out, and it's just like, wow, these were so many little life fun lessons that you learned
yeah,
while watching a funny show. And since they came back, it's almost like, oh, now we're grown up and we still get the same lessons. We still always need to learn.
I follow all three of the main actors on Instagram. I'm not on social media all that much, but I do look at it, and they show, like, since they rebooted the show, like the first episode of season one, and then the first of what the three of them look like. The three, oh my God, I feel so old when I see those pictures. So I'm the same age as them all. We're all the same age. They're all bicentennial babies too. So we're all turning 50 this year. And I'm like, oh my God, like in my head, I'm like, they haven't changed a bit. They look exactly the same. And then when you see side by side the pictures, I'm like, oh my God, we're all so old now. Because if I showed you a picture of what I look like, 20 years ago, you'd say, oh my God, you've gotten so old looking. It's like, yeah, I have aged a lot. It's which is normal when you're approaching 50. You're supposed to not look like you did at 25. But in any event, yeah. But what Scrubs also touches on that a lot, on
Mhm.
mental health. Like they've touched on like their ability to kind of function and do their jobs. And I think that was part of the foil of the janitor, because that was his negative kind of consciousness talking to him about like what a piece of crap he is.
Self-doubt, yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting. That
Yeah.
makes 100% sense now. You said it that way, yeah. That was
Yeah.
his bad ego telling him he wasn't good enough to be there.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
I kind of want to throw that into the Google and see if that's how they determine to write that.
I'm not completely sure. But the same guy who created that show created a whole bunch of other ones. One of them is called Shrinking, which is super popular
Ooh,
as well.
I,
Yeah, same
I've
guy.
I've started a few episodes of that. Have you ever tried Louder Milk?
No.
You might like that humor. It's a guy who's, I guess, whatever I am, like a group facilitator of sorts in
Okay.
AA and everything, follows the story of him, but like he's a jackass like myself. Very, this is the rules how we do AA, and it does a very good job of following those in addiction, what it's like if a friend relapses and you live with them. Does a really good job of that.
Oh, I had no idea that show was out there.
It's I believe on Netflix or Prime right now.
Okay.
But update as we're coming up on year 10 of celebrating,
Hmm.
and next week I think. Um, yeah, crazy, isn't it?
Yeah.
I went back to my original AA room, the Lions Club in Boca, on Friday. Last week I made a real hard plan to make it work,
Mhm.
and I did. And I walked in, and it felt like nothing changed except for everybody in there, which was really awesome. Going to all the other AA meetings I've gone to, some anxiety walking in. Where do I sit? Where? None. Walked in, sat, parked, no issue. Knew where I'm parking, knew everything.
Mhm.
But I walk in, there's a guy in there who I've known since I've been down here, which is a nice feeling. Everybody else I didn't know, and a girl that I knew who was up front. Um, And as I sat there, I do a lot of, trying therapeutic myself while in meetings. And what I realized, one, you're at meetings when you're supposed to. This meeting was all about people coming back after 4 or 5 years and reinventing themselves in AA again. So I'm like, all right, God, I see you. But second, what I realized is maybe the reason all the other meetings haven't worked for me as much as I thought is because I didn't put the blood, sweat, and tears into that room.
Hmm.
Going back to that room and seeing the one guy there who has 18 years now. When I came in, he had 8. He was one of those people that that's not real. This doesn't work. There's no way you have 8 years. That's not real. And now to be coming up on 10, and he's like, Ben, I got 18.
Hmm.
It just reinvigorated that for me. Oh, this is why I come back to the meeting. Not maybe because I need it as much as I probably do, but to show people that it does work. And it just kind of I don't know, just started making sense. Like 10 years, it feels like I'm going backwards, but positively into this new experience.
Hmm.
Um, I don't know any of those who are just struggling getting back to meetings. Maybe go back to where it all started, where everything felt right, where you grew up in yourself.
Hmm.
But I just knew for me sitting in that meeting, like I felt like a grown up in that meeting. I wasn't nervous. I wasn't scared about being in there. Um, it was just cool to see somebody who has 18 years that I started with
Yeah.
and just reminded me. It was also a cool feeling. There's only two of us in there that I recognized. And it just reminded me that that's the point of coming back. Is so you see the new flock of people trying to get it, and then you're there for them. So this meeting room can last another 10 years after we're all gone.
Hmm.
And it was just kind of one of those, I needed that reminder of like, oh, this is why I come.
Hmm.
I show up so that person who never thought 8 years was possible can see it's possible.
Yeah. You know, it's
But I
funny.
just wanted to leave on that.
Are you going to do anything to celebrate 10 years?
So I think I'm gonna go back on Friday night to this meeting because they asked if anybody wanted to celebrate with them. So I think I'll probably pick up my chip there. I don't care if anybody's there to present it to me.
Hmm.
I just, for me, it'll be a nice close of the chapter. I pick it up there year one. I pick it up there year 10. Maybe Christy. I might text Christy because she lives right there in Boca. So I might see maybe she wants to come down and go out to eat after.
Hmm.
I don't
Yeah.
know yet. It's something that my friends have really worked hard on me with the last month of
Mm.
Ben, 10 years is a big deal.
10 years
Because
is
I
a
think
big deal. Yeah.
think a lot for me is I want to write it off as it's what I'm supposed to do. And I have really good friends who say, yeah, duh, but
Like,
also not a lot of people can do that.
right. A lot of people struggle with one, and 10 is a lot. Um, and it doesn't mean that you're never going to have to struggle again with it. It just means that you've made it 10. That's all. But 10 is a lot, and it is an accomplishment. And it is worth, it's like I remember working with a little girl. Her parents brought her in. She was about 9 years old. One of my first clients when I started doing therapy. Parents brought her in and they said, we don't know why, but she keeps beating up her baby brother. And I said, did you ask her? And they said, why would we ask her? So I looked at her. Parents are sitting on the couch and little girl sitting on the side. And I looked at her and I said, why do you keep beating up your little brother? And she said, because bad attention is better than no attention. So I looked at the
Wow.
parents and I said, do you give her attention when she does something right? And they say, no, why would we do that? And I said, so
Wow.
that she continues to do it. So she continues to do the right thing. Like, well, if she does the thing that she's supposed to do, then she just does the right thing. We're going to punish her if she doesn't. What you are doing when you say, I'm not going to celebrate my 10 years, is what those parents are doing to that child. We need to give ourselves a pat on the back when we do the right thing, even if we think it's the thing we're supposed to be doing. If I have, chocolate ice cream in my house and I let it sit for 2 days before finishing the entire pint because I can't not eat ice cream. It's got to go in one shot. Otherwise it doesn't count. I give myself a pat on the back for not eating it. Like if I have to break it up amongst much days, that is good for me. For me, that's an accomplishment. Yes, you're not supposed to eat the whole pint of ice cream in one sitting. I understand that, but it's hard for me to do. So when I actually eat it over like over several days, I am proud. Go me. Go Heather. Woo woo. Go me. I didn't eat all the ice cream in one sitting. When we do the things that are hard for us, we have to celebrate them.
Inner child always comes back, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, on that note,
Well, I guess that's it for today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in and watching. We will see you again in another 2 weeks.
have a good week, everybody.
Real Champions Podcast, Season 2, Episode 6, The Pit, Part 2. What does it mean to be a champion when that's your name? The Real Champions Podcast is co-hosted by Heather Champion and Benjamin Champion. It's edited by Heather Champion. Produced by Maitri Counseling Services, all rights reserved. Questions or comments can be referred to Heather at Maitri Therapy, MAITRI-therapy.com.
You are not alone. Remember, if you or someone you know is struggling with thoughts of suicide, please call the National Suicide Prevention Hotline at 1-800-273-TALK. For local help, dial 211 on your phone to be connected to resources in your area. If you experience mental health or substance abuse issues, please call the National Alliance or Mental Health or NAMNI at 1-800-950-NAMNI. Or in a crisis, text NAMI, NAMI, to 741-741. Check out the NAMI website, nami.org, for additional resources.